Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we're going to be looking at one of the best places in AFK Arena, which is the collections. Now overall, I know how much everyone absolutely loves the collections. I get all the feedback on YouTube on how fair the Ghoulish Gallery is. There's no RNG at all. Well, maybe that's not the case. But you know what? When it comes to collections, it is imperative that you build collections and that you build collections in the entirety. If you want to be competitive within a lot of different game modes, looking at the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, the Treasure Scramble, Campaign Formations, Temple Rift, every single place collections are very prevalent, and they have replaced all of Dura's artifacts and the class-specific artifacts. So let's go ahead and hop over and look at what it's going to look like with this iteration right here within the Cursed Realm. Now, big shout out to Rockaday and Arcman for putting these together. So we see the tier list for all of the heroes. This is the tier list for collections based on the Cursed Realm. So this is the updated one, and this is the most important. It also shows you kind of what you need to build, what you need to build on what specific collection, what rune you're going to go for, and what heroes are using that example. So I love this. I'm going to put a link down below. You guys have to check this out for yourself because this is imperative, again, to getting to the point of pushing content within AFK Arena. It is going to be super important, and I want to run this down. So looking at the meta, so here is the meta. This is the S plus tier. Now, one thing to remember with collections is when you're running collections, when you're running the same collection or looking for the same collection time and time again within the Ghoulish Gallery, using those legendary bizarre totems are going to unlock multiple slots, meaning you have a couple heroes that can wear the same one. So for instance, right here, we see Tassie's collection falling into the S+, looking at insight, 2 to 3x insight, meaning when it comes to the crowd control that these heroes do provide, it is super important to have insight within the Cursed Realm, making sure, again, the utility of these heroes. Now, looking again, the user examples in here, we have Nyla, we have Lavatoon, we have Nox, we do have Valkyria, and then we do have Meleon in here, based on the insight collection, based on the Tassie collection, going to be super important. Now, another thing to note when it comes to this guide is you can see the one little star here, the 3 little stars here. One little star means you are not going to get it any higher with the levels. You're going to be more focused on the runes, then building it out with the plus levels, then going in there. And of course, if you're a whale, Miracle Worker is going to be the game changer because you can unlock that extra slot that is in the top. As we look through here, again, big meta right here is Thane's new collection, S+. You're looking for crit damage amplification. So looking at the heroes that use this, and you'll also notice again, when it comes to Thane's collection, it is 3 stars, meaning you have to get this to level 3 within here, or the skill level 2, because when you get this to level 3, when you crit, it boosts the attack, meaning that the cycle of damage can increase way higher than it used to be in the past because of the new collection. Now, crit damage amplification times 3, you can look, we have Scion in here, we do have Leica, the awakened version of Eron, and then we also do have Envy. So if you're looking at and being able to reach that really top end damage to be competitive within the Cursed Realm, this could be the absolute reason where if you do not have the collection with both of the plus levels or that level 2 collection, based on the crit damage amplification, you could be missing a lot of damage from these heroes and overall not scoring as high as you should be. When we start looking at Rowan's collection, this is another one that requires that +2 skill level or that skill level +2. The reason for this is that brings in the extra potion, the energy potion for the support heroes. Super important in a lot of different cases. And you'll notice in here that we do have Rosaline, Lavatoon's in here. We have Rendell in here. We have the twins. We have Nox. Now you'll notice this is running full attack. So even though we get the utility of the collection of Rowan's collection, we want to boost the damage or the attack rating of the primary damage dealers within the Cursed Realm, being able to maximize the damage. This is going to make a big difference. So looking at full attack at 2 to 3x, meaning you're going to stack an incredible amount of damage. And also, when you think of having these heroes within formation, if you have, 1, 2, even 3 of these heroes together, all wearing the same collection, all stacking that full attack that we see, it is a game changer with the amount of damage that they can put out. And really, again, being competitive, getting that top end damage makes a really big difference. Then we get into Aurelia and we have Gavis. Now, one thing to note with Aurelia is the erosion set. Her skills and abilities are based on erosion. This is the reason why erosion 4 or 5. So think about this for a minute. With a collection like Oden or Mahira's collection, if you want erosion to a 4 or a 5, this is only going to be a level 1 collection, but you're going to have to use Miracle Worker if you're looking for 5 erosions. You cannot get up to 5 for the attack side of your collections unless you do use Miracle Worker to unlock that slot. If you don't use Miracle Worker, you can have 4 erosions on a collection just based on it being skill level 1. So you're not going to get that skill up. You're going to keep it as a basic stat, but adding the 4 parts of erosion rate in there to really maximize the damage. Then we start looking at, again, we have a couple more Tassie's collection. We have attack 3 to 5. Now, again, if you're going to 5, that means you use Miracle Worker in there. But you'll notice that there is a lot of overlap. So we have Lava Tune, Lava Tune, Lava Tune. In here, we do have, a couple heroes that do kind of overlap based on the collection. We have Rosaline and a couple one of these. This is because when we start looking at the Cursed Realm and a lot of other game modes, there are a lot of different iterations that require different collections. Again, if you're going to be competitive. Now, this is one of the big ones. And honestly, one of two big ones is right here with Misha. Misha, you can see 3 to 5 defense. Her skills and abilities are based on defense, meaning you're going to build a very specific collection for a very specific hero. Same thing again up here, like we've seen with the erosion. You're building a very specific collection for a very specific hero, mainly building this up for Aurelia. Now, as we get down here, you can see inside in here, the awakened version of Iran is building this out. And you'll notice that the level 1 right here with Baden's collection was kind of the old school one. Now, if you're looking to build that Thane collection, it does require, again, that +3 or that +2 skill level, but ultimately getting 3 of the levels on the side. This is insight. Crowd control in here does incredibly well for the hero. We know the tornadoes are up. You can crowd control and lock down a lot of different teams, making it imperative within that game mode. Now, looking at Oden's collection, again, looking at that +2 skill, Magical Pierce, crit damage amplification. So again, looking at 1 to 2, 1 to 2, so filling up all 4 of those slots. But you are going to have to build this up again using that +2 skill, which means you only have 3 open slots in there. So it's either going to be a Magical Pierce and 2 crit damage amplifications, or it's going to be 2 of the Magical Pierce with 1 crit damage amplification to really focus on and build out that collection. Now, when we get into the very first tanking collections, again, it is insight. All 3 of these, including Aethys, Leviathan, do a crazy amount of crowd control. Definitely an imperative, and you'll notice that it is on the +1 skill level. Same down here with Zora's collection, it is at the +1 skill level, meaning that a lot of crowd control has to go into this game mode, because of course with the Cursed Realm, when you start getting to the point of making sure that you land the crowd control, the rage as it goes up faster and faster, have to make sure again that you are controlling the teams. If not, they're going to absolutely just run you over. Now, of course, the awakened version of Athalia, she is the exception for the warrior. She will still run and does still run Saurus's collection. Right here, running it at that level 2, crit damage amplification, maxing out the damage. So the rest of these guys, I'm going to run through pretty quick. I'm going to throw the link down to the guide below, so you can definitely check it out. But looking at Magical Pierce with Palmer in here, really big difference. We have some attack in here again with the basic collection. Magical Pierce with Zora if you're looking to maximize. Even here, we have a lot more of our support heroes with full attack. We do have the awakened version of Lucius coming in with all defense kind of being stacked on there. Makes a very big difference. Again, not huge on the attack side, but the defense side is really big. Some more crowd control, insight. And then we get over to the lower tiers. You can see the B tier. Again, we have some more insight, a little bit of HP there for Thorin and for the awakened version of Shmira. Even looking down as we look at the substitute or the alternate ones for the different classifications can really make a big difference. Even here, guys, looking at Physical Pierce, again, not a huge one. Looking at the collection with either of those, if they're run together, full defense is going to make a big difference on Misha if Misha is run with the awakened version of Lucius, because If you're running it with that combination, she is going to provide additional defense, which is going to translate through the SP effect that Lucius has, making it a really a big difference. Energy recovery in here for Laios. And you can see going through here, insight and tenacity. This is because of the damage that is really, really crazy. You'll get to the point of not being able to crowd control with the enrage because you'll get run over and then the heroes will just absolutely burst you down. So thinking about this bigger picture, guys, looking and really focusing on these really S and these S plus tiers are going to make the biggest difference and the biggest really push factor when it comes to the curse realm as well as a lot of other game modes. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.